Hello, Math Lab. I'm going to do a quick introduction to solving inequalities. Mrs. Bryan will actually be the sub for today because I've got some training to go to, but I'll be back on Wednesday. So I've got a worksheet you can work on today, and then I'm going to give you kind of a quick tutorial on what we're going to be doing for the next week or so. So when you're dealing with inequalities, like say you had something like, x is less than or equal to 3 plus 2 or whatever simple equation you've got, you can treat this just like inequality, except in the case where you need to multiply both sides by -1. If we had a negative x equals 3 plus 2, well, to solve this really quickly, we would get 3 plus 2 is 5, so negative x is less than or equal to 5. If we're going to multiply both sides by -1, which we would have to do to complete the solution here, we have to flip the sign. Okay, so we're going to multiply both sides by -1. We're going to get x on this side. We flip the sign, and we get a -5. And here's why that is. Okay, let's take a look at our number line here. We've got a 0 here, and then we're just kind of doing this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then -1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth, right? So let's say, let's kind of crunch this down. Let's say we were dealing with the equation, and we landed at negative x is, I don't know, greater than 2. Okay. So if we're graphing negative x on a number line, here's 2. So it's going to be, it's not going to include 2, but it's going to include, x could be any of these points here, right? Well, if we're going to negate this, then essentially what we're doing is we're turning everything over. So here is negative x. It lands right there, whatever negative x is. If we're going to change that to a positive x, it's going to go exactly to the opposite side, equidistant from 0. So you can see what happens. If negative x is greater than 2, and here are all the possible things that x could be, if we flip everything around, here and then we say x has something to do with -2. We multiply both sides by -1. Look what happened. Everything, all the possible solutions to x are now on the left side. In other words, they're in the negative direction. So they must be less than -2. So that's why you have to be careful if you end up multiplying or dividing both sides by a negative number. Essentially what you're doing is you're flipping your number line over, so you have to be careful to switch the sign. So it's not to be confused with if you had like, x is less than -3 plus 2, and x lands at -1, that's fine, because we didn't multiply the equation, both sides of the equation by a negative number. But anytime we have negative x or -2x or any sort of negative of x, and we end up multiplying or dividing the equation by a negative number, we need to remember to flip the sign. So it'll go from less than or equal to, it'll change to greater than or equal to. And if it's less than, it'll change to greater than, and vice versa. So I'm going to have Mrs. Bryan pass out this worksheet, and I've also got a video with me going through all the solutions to this worksheet, just in case you get hung up on anything. And if you still have questions tomorrow, we'll go from there. Good luck, guys.